Hello and happy Friday. I'm Anson, and we are headed into the final week of our short series, Walking with God from Generation to Generation. And I've got some really good stuff for us to be grateful for as we come to this third week. We've talked about God's presence among his people. Last week we saw with our good friend George Bullard the patterns that God has called us to and that he works in among his people. And this week from Leviticus 26, Leviticus of all places, Leviticus 26, 1 through 13, we see some audacious promises that God offers to his faithful people. Five things in particular he promises. He promises to provide for his people. He promises peace, both outwardly and an inward peace for his people. He promises fruitfulness, that the things that he calls us to do will bear lasting fruit and have meaningful impact. He promises a sense of his presence with us, and he promises us freedom from the things that get us all tangled up, that enslave us both inwardly and outwardly. How do we get these promises? Well, that's what we're going to talk about this Sunday as we wrap up this series. How can we access? How can we bring ourselves to a place where we are dependent on and receiving and enjoying these promises of God? We can be so grateful that he's made these promises and that there's a way that we can receive them from him. So I'm super excited about this weekend. It's going to launch us into our Christmas series, where we're going to look at Jesus as the light of the world and our calling to be bearers of that light, to share the light of Jesus in the place where he has called us to be. So in just a few days, don't know when it's going to hit your mailbox, but we're sending out letters to prepare us for this Christmas season. Not only is it a time to celebrate Jesus' birth and all that means for us, but as you know, it's the end of our calendar year, and it's an important time for us and our mission and vision as a church. And so there's a letter from me that's going out. I originally had intended, somebody gave me this idea of writing a handwritten letter. So that's what I did. I wrote a handwritten letter to all of you that are a part of our church. But then I showed it to our elders, and they couldn't read my handwriting. So I scrapped that idea and I typed it out like I normally do. But watch your mailbox. There's a letter that's introducing our year-end giving theme called Share the Light. We have our biggest challenge that we've ever had coming into this year as part of our vision campaign. So just want to encourage you to be praying about your part in the mission and vision that God has given us here and how we can share the light together throughout this Christmas season and into 2025. Well, excited. There's a lot going on, right? You can tell. But I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. I hope you'll join us this Sunday, either online or in person. And until then, have a great weekend.